They have been, they've wanted to solve these things. Yeah. The next page you've got is just about Camp Lakeview. I'm going to switch to that. That's our place where we're trying to build the residence facility. This is just an update on all the water sampling that we've done there. Originally we did total coliform and E. coli. We stopped doing the total coliform because the E. coli was a more appropriate measure for human waste. And you'll notice that of the 36 times we've sampled out there at the camp, only twice since 1999 have we had E. coli readings that were unacceptable. So we've got a 94% positive reading rate, so I think that's a good kind of thing. It makes us feel pretty safe about having kids out there swimming. And speaking of swimming out there, one of the things that people may have noticed, the Tri-River Transit is doing free bus rides for anybody 18 and under the summer, and they're also doing rides on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from the Hamlin area out to the public beach area. We're going to do something special on Wednesday, July 14th, where the Tri-River bus is going to take folks to the Camp Lakeview side. We've got a little bit concerned about the public beach areas that they don't have any lifeguards and there's no supervision. So what we'll do on the 14th is we'll have lifeguards, and we'll have some water safety people so that kids can canoe and kayak. And we're also going to feed them. That's the other problem with the public beach side is there's no place to get any food. So we thought it was probably important to give kids water and at least a peanut butter sandwich. So we're going to try that, see how it goes. It might be something that in the future we want to try to do more often. We've been having these meetings with community people to figure out how we could promote the Camp Lakeview a little better. One of the things we're doing is having free family days out at the lake. We've got another one coming up on July 25th, Sunday, July 25th. There is a community picnic on the 12th for the watershed folks. I just want to let you know, out at the lake at Camp Lakeview. And the community, when we had our last community meeting, the watershed group asked me to come to the commission. They've got some concern about the fact that in the watershed, like in a lot of Lincoln County, we've got a lot of electrical surges, especially during summer storms. And they're worried that these surges may have a negative impact on some of these systems that we put in because they've all got electrical panels that are working. In a couple instances, we've already had to replace some of these panels. They said, Rick, go to the commission and ask. Well, they wanted to see if the commission knew anybody from AEP, Appalachian Power, who'd be willing to come to a community meeting to talk about this issue.
Yeah, I just let
Thomas
you.
would?
Give him that card.
I think I was here a while ago. He said he would do that kind of stuff.
Really? Great.
I've got one.
Thank you. Boy, that was easy. See, they said the commission can help you. And I said,
Hey,
I'm not sure, but I'll ask. And by golly, exactly what we're going to
Timing
have.
was good.
Yes, it was. The last thing I wanted to bring before the commission was this Lincoln County Health Initiative that's been talked about a while now. President McCann and I have had a chance to talk to Dr. Lawrence Smith, who's the head of the county health department. And his vision is that we ought to try to do some things in Lincoln County that sort of raise the issue of health among Lincoln County citizens. So we've been talking about doing a health initiative. Some of the goals would be to increase awareness of critical county health issues through some forums in the county. Another thing would be to support county groups and organizations so that they would develop a health program that would be unique to that organization. For example, you might have a church that had a lot of seniors who might have some high blood pressure issues, so the church might develop some sort of a blood pressure screening that church would do. Or an organization might develop some sort of a community walking thing where every lunch everybody got out and walked, or there might be some other things like that. And the idea was that we would encourage groups to do this, and we'd sort of have a year timeline where we would get folks to take on initiatives, and then we'd come back in a year and sort of evaluate it, see how that happened. At this point, we have some potential forums that we could do. One would be a forum that would be sponsored by West Virginians for Affordable Health Care. They've been doing some forums statewide on the new federal health care law and what it means. I think there are a lot of people, you know, Obamacare, and nobody really knows what that means, and there's all these rumors that you're going to lose the right for this or the right for that. And so they're doing forums where they sort of say, okay, this is what the law is, this is what it means, this is how it's going to impact West Virginia. What questions do you have? And they try to answer that. So we thought we'd do something about that. The county, through Step by Step, has some money to do some forums on prescription drug abuse, which is certainly an issue that the county's facing, that would lead to sort of a county-wide, what can we in Lincoln County do about that issue? So that's another potential forum. We're trying to pull together an adolescent health fair at the high school for early when school starts, and the thought would be that we would have the health fair, and then in the evening we'd have a forum for parents on adolescent health issues that would both present information and be question and answer. And then of course there would be some county-wide kind of forums to do this. So one of the thoughts is we got to have somebody who does this. The thought at this point is that, you know, I'm being paid currently to work 19.5 hours a week on the ARRA project. So I have a little bit of free time, although there are other things that sort of eat that up that I just sort of do. We thought that maybe if we could cobble together 3 hours a week that I could get paid to work on these kind of issues, that we might start with that and see what would happen. A timeline would be that we would try to begin some of these forums in August, and that we would do the countywide health forum before the end of 2010, and then we'd wrap it up during 2011. So,
About what we've talked about.
so that's where we are. We thought we'd bring it. Dr. Smith and I thought the next step was to come to the commission, see whether you endorse the idea, whether you think we're to dedicate these 3 hours a week.
I think it's a good start. Dr. Smith has been working on this, I guess, for 6 months, probably talking about it, thinking about it, having conversations, but I think it's a wonderful idea, and it's certainly knowing Rick, if we could get him to work, pay him for 3 hours, he'll probably work 5 or more.
Probably. I've got to work on that issue. That's my health issue.
But I think in order to move forward, I entertain a motion to not only endorse the idea of the health forum, I think at one point we call it maybe a health summit at some juncture, to provide employment for Mr. McDowell for 3 hours a week until we further the notice and see where we're going, how things are going.
And what I do is I just, you know, report on that stuff and some of these other things.
I so move, and just to add, some of these forums, I mean, to answer the questions that people have in regards to Obamacare. And there's a lot of confusion across this area, and not only this area but the country. And the second one you mentioned, step by step, to talk about prescription drugs, and I know we all know people across this county